notes that I've been going through. This is now a special Audible version with the book Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi. And this is a book that I've referenced to many times in my daily meetings where I speak about the importance of relationships and networking and whatnot. So this is actually the first time I get to record, and I've been trying to get this recording out as soon as possible, but I've not been able to have the time basically to write down the notes and then reference them here in the recording. So what I came up with, the idea was that I would just use the audible recording itself to play back that portion that I highlighted, and then here I could just provide further insights into that. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start playing the audible recordings and yeah, see what we can glean from this. So here we go. This is from the Audible book, chapter 1, and this is the first bookmark. Here we go. Relationships are all there is. Everything in the universe only exists because it is in relationship to everything else. Okay. So everything in the universe exists because it's in relationship to everything else. And that's it. I mean, really, everything depends on each other. So it's just making a case for why having relationships and why networking is that important. It is a good case for that. We ought not to think that we can just wing it by ourselves. If anything, if that highlight teaches us anything, is listen, even in the nature, I mean, the plants that I'm looking at right now in the grass depends upon the rain to fall upon it. The rain itself, when it falls on the ground, depends upon the sun for it to do the evaporation and the whole water cycle to take effect, the winds and everything else. I mean, a lot of everything here depends on other things. So here, even to stay alive, we need to eat, we need water, we need meat or protein, or just to feed on things here in this earth. And other animals are sacrificed for that. The point is, again, we need, and I need to have this mindset of, okay, I'm going to employ the services of others and to understand that, hey, meeting people is a treat in and of itself, but if knowing that I can still get benefits from it via favors or help or job offers or whatever the case is, open doors, then why not go for it? So that's what I'm getting at right here from that first highlight that I recorded. Here's the second one. Nothing exists in isolation. We have to stop pretending we are individuals that can go it alone. Exactly what I was saying right now, to stop thinking that we are individuals that can go at it alone. And that's, I've felt that way a long time. I mean, I felt that I could do a lot of things alone, but get comfortable with talking to people and understanding all this time that you will need to employ the services of others as well. Okay, so we are not an island to ourselves. All right, what's the next clip? Something else that separated me from the rest of my class and gave me an advantage. I seem to have learned something long before I arrived in Cambridge that it seemed many of my peers had not. As a kid, I caddied at the local country. Okay. So this highlight, I took it in because, yeah, he learned something early on in his age. And this something that he learned was the fact that it's people helping people. He was talking about being a caddy at, the golf resort, to someone that was a connector, someone that knew other people, obviously, right? So he would work and do the work that he needs to do to make sure that he was doing the job well, right? But the word got around that he was a good caddy. This person with their connections and network was able to communicate that to others, and pretty soon he'd start to receive offers from others. And that's a lesson that he's talking about here that he learned early on. All right, so that's why I highlighted that. For me, particularly, is because I highlighted it because, right, when I do good for others, you never know who you might meet and who you might be serving. It could be a power broker of people, right? Someone that is a connector of persons. So you never know who you are going to meet. Just do your best in every angle and always know that these people can communicate. And that might happen. So keep it going. All right, next note. I viewed the world. During those long stretches on the links, as I carried their bags, I watched how the people who had reached professional heights unknown to my father and mother helped each other. They found one another jobs. So yeah, and he was observing how other people in the groups were finding each other jobs. He noticed how they were helping each other out. So I mean, yes, of course, you always have to have that knowledge and that base so that you could do your job well. But again, um, people when they boast about their success, they boast about how it's really the people that they know that helped them to get to that point. And they don't really talk about academic things. So when he was observing what he was observing when he was younger and the caddy, and working with others around, he was realizing that's what he needed to do is to grow and join those circles because they helped each other out.
Found one another jobs. They
Yeah,
invested
there you go.
time and money in one another's ideas, and they made sure their kids got help getting into the best schools, got the right internships, and ultimately got the best jobs.
Right, there you go. It goes to show you that if, yeah, these people that are connectors, they help each other out, find jobs, they help their kids, they help their situations, their programs, their charities, or whatever the case is. So again, see charity now, see networking as an opportunity to advance charity, perhaps, or advance your resume, or advance anything else. Always look at networking as, another word for networking is go to parties, go to get-togethers, meet people, right? Open up the doors. I mean, this book here opened up my eyes to the idea that relationships are opportunities for you to open the door and to see what is behind the door, right? The possibilities are endless. You could meet somebody that is a connector. You could probably meet someone also who's probably a jerk or whatnot. But those are few and far between, but you still are going to be surprised, and that's okay. The element of surprise is something also that keeps it exciting and wanting you to take more actions, make more steps in this regard. So that's what he was observing when he was a caddy, and that's the reason why I highlighted that one, because it shows me that the help is out there, and as long as you know the right people, that can happen.
Before my eyes, I saw proof that
Okay,
success breeds success.
next note.
I came to believe that in some very specific ways, life, like golf, is a game, and that the people who know the rules and know them well play it best and succeed.
And win. Right. So that's what he was doing here. He realized that though life is like a game, and those who play it will succeed. That's why I like to gamify things. I like to gamify my business pursuits, and if there's other ways that I can gamify even meeting people, I would love to make it into a game and get points, and love to be competitive, and love to get the wins or the losses. But the fact is that you still are winning when it comes to this. And he was saying here, if you play the game well, you will succeed. And the game he's talking about here is the game of networking, meeting people, connecting, getting the numbers and keeping up with them, right? Staying in touch is what he was saying, about keeping that up. So that's what I got from that. That's what I learned in that highlight.
I came to believe that in some very specific ways, life, like golf, is a game,
Okay,
and that the people who know the
I'm just
rules
repeating that
and
one.
know them well play it best
All right,
and
let's go with the next
succeed.
note.
Like golf is a game,
All right,
and that the people who know the
so I gotta
rules
just
and know them well
delete that one.
play
Okay,
it best and
there we go.
succeed.
Here goes the
Well,
next
who
note.
knows the right people for the right reasons and utilizes the power of these relationships can become a member of the club, whether he started out as a caddy or
Okay.
not.
Right. So that's another good point here is knowing people for the right reasons. Knowing people for the right reasons. So there's a sense there where you deliberately aim to talk to somebody. You don't haphazardless. You don't randomly go up to strangers and just talk to everybody. There's a time for that. But if you have a purpose, let's say for example, you do want to get a certain considered for a certain job, or you trying to get a deal or whatever the case is, hey, that does help in your pursuit, right? Knowing to go with the right people, know who the movers and shakers are, and aim to go in that direction. I mean, again, I keep referring back to me when I watch the Netflix show Madam Secretary, how she deliberately goes and tries to talk to the person, right? I mean, even today's episode I watched today, it was a weird, crazy name that starts with an E, a volcano that was erupting and spreading ash in the general direction where they were. They were stuck in this convention. They were stuck in the airport, right, with a rival nation, or a nation, not really a rival, but a stubborn nation that wasn't going to budge. They were trying to um, open up the borders of Turkey so that the refugees, I believe the Syrian refugees, would not die and would not stay in places, whatever the case was. And they had to communicate. They had to break down barriers. And I love watching Kat, and I love watching Jay play the role, yeah, of trying to, communicate and try to raise money for the refugees and try to ask for funds and things like that, right? So I love that point of just networking, the people you meet, the people you know. And because of her networking skills, right, Elizabeth was able to speak with Chen, Minister Chen from China, where she caught him, not caught him, but she went up to, he was at a tech convention, and he was like, he was all dressed up like in his wartime gear and his virtual reality game. He was just blasting away. He was just like, ah, it was funny. But yeah, I mean, she went up to him, and she was trying to ask for something, and I mean, it wasn't successful at first, but again, because of her network connections, she felt obligated. She felt compelled to approach him personally and ask for something, right? So yes, networking is a great skill to have. Even now, um, I don't know if they teach you this in college. It doesn't matter, but it is a real life skill to have that is really going to play a big role. Okay, so let's go with the next one.
Who knows the right people for the right reasons and utilizes the power of these relationships can become a member of the club.
All right. So that's just another confirmation of what we just heard now. I'm going to try my best to not repeat the same clips and whatnot, but I mean, it's still good to hear them again. Again, those who play well the game of networking of life, right, are those that get invited to things. They have doors open to them, and knowing the right people for the right reasons is what will help you out. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go with the next one.
Realized it matters less how smart you are, how much innate talent you're born with, or even, most eye opening to me, where you came from and how much you started out with. Sure, all these are important,
Okay.
but they mean little if you don't understand
What?
one thing.
What's that?
You can't get there alone.
Oh, okay, of course. Yes, so this highlighted message is good, that he realized that it doesn't matter how smart you are. I mean, if you don't build up a network, you cannot get there alone. So it's just once again emphasizing this. So it's further proving, at least to me in this book, emphasizing that it's important to get to that point. All right, so I'm going to play the next one.
What many of my fellow students lacked, I discovered, were the skills and strategies that are associated with fostering and building relationships.
All right.
In America,
So yeah, I mean, you can be the smartest kid in class, but again, if you don't foster relationships, if you're not able to create new relationships and foster them, what does foster relationships mean? It means that you purposely choose not to let them go. You purposely choose to stay in touch with them. You stay top of mind, and yeah, I mean that does include the social media aspect in my life of keeping up with the people that are there and making sure that they remember. You stay top of mind. I said this earlier as well in my morning meeting. I said, if you don't post, you become invisible. People forget about you quickly. So make sure to stay top of mind. And another thing I did say earlier today that I was hoping to remember, and I did, at least to this point, and I want to make sure that I record this, is that you are in the mode where you are communicating and speaking, and I want to just make sure that when someone approaches you or someone's in your area, think about them as a log. You say, well, how does that work? And because this again ties in with, it's similar. I can say it's related to the networking, right? It's communication with people and bringing them into your world. If you feel like you are the fire, you're on fire basically, right? You are motivated, you are moving forward in the direction that you want to move forward in, you feel like you can talk to anybody. Well, someone approaches your general area, right? Your general space, and they're close enough for you to be, you have to say something, otherwise it'll be a little bit awkward, right? So it's basically like, if imagine you are a bonfire, right? Or just a fire. I don't know the size of the fire, but let's imagine it was a small fire. You got a flame going. when the person is brought into your sphere, into your little world at that time, imagine a log being put into the fire. Now, this log, if it's too big, if it's too large, if the fire doesn't consume it, it'll put out the fire, right? So hopefully that fire will be strong enough that it will consume the wood, the wood. It will consume the wood, and it'll cause the fire to become bigger, right? So if you are in a relationship, if you are obviously in the mode of conversation and building up a network and just not wanting your fire to be put out, hey, remember that whenever anybody approaches your sphere, whatever the case is, um, if you don't engage with them, what might happen is you might get discouraged, you might get a little bit off your game, or that might make your fire go down a little bit. Versus if they appear to your in your circle, let's say your space, and you engage them and you had a conversation with them, do you not leave the conversation more encouraged, more helped? In other words, that log that was put into the fire, hey, it was consumed by the fire, and now your fire is bigger now because you did consume it. Okay, so keep that in mind. I like that idea. I think that's a really good idea to keep in mind, a good metaphor. And now, next time someone approaches you or is in your general area, instead of not saying anything and unbeknownst to you, your fire gets put out a little bit. Let's not do that. Let's take it in and let's consume that log and make our fire bigger. All right, let's go with another comment, another highlight here. So we talked about fostering relationships. It's a very important thing to do. All right, here we go.
No tabulation of dollars and cents can account for one immutable fact. Business is a human enterprise driven and determined by people.
Absolutely. That's exactly right. I mean, people sell to other people, right? Business is about working with people. Even politics, I mean, you can't get nothing done unless you can't get anything done unless you're working with other people. People, business, everything. I mean, you just got to keep that in mind. It's all about working with other people. All right. So what I'm gonna do right now, actually, I'm gonna take a quick pause, doing a quick pickup here, and I'll resume once I finish. All right, I'm back. I can't wait to get back into this book here. Keith Ferrazzi, Never Eat Alone, going through some of my highlights and trying to emphasize and just talk about some insights that I have in this and how I can apply it to my everyday life. Okay, so still in chapter one.
Time, I came to see that reaching out to people as a way to make a difference in people's
Oh,
lives,
good.
as well as a way to explore and learn
Of
and
course.
enrich my own,
Yes.
it became the conscious construction of my life's path.
Well,
Once I
that's
sold
really
my
good. I like that one
business,
already. He saw reaching out to people as a way for you to, number one, provide value to them, right? I mean, this is the word of the decade, really. Provide value, 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 content, content, content. Especially, you're trying to build up a social media following. I mean, this is something different than that. It's not just posting things that can help. Everybody's is up to their ears with just content and value, quote unquote, right? Online. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real value, real support, real benefit, real change that you could provide by either connecting people and putting them in the right position to be helped, or just providing real type of benefit to their life, whatever the case is. But yeah, you approach somebody with the intention of helping them out, right? We are not here to help ourselves out, even though I know that networking has that side effect of boosting your position. But if you approach anybody with the intention of only getting a result for yourself, only getting ahead for yourself, it's going to be evident that you are there for that purpose. You're there to approach them with that I want to help you attitude. Like, I have something I can help you with. I can provide this for you. Like, this is why I want to approach and see this play out this way for you. I want you to be helped by me, right? So that's how we approach networking, and it'll follow. It will be something that can be accomplished in the long term. Let's see what else we got here in this highlight.
time, I came to see that reaching out to people as a way to make a difference in people's lives, as well as a way to explore and learn and enrich my own, it became the
So yes,
conscious
of course. I
construction
mean,
of
also
my life.
approaching other people is a way for you to enrich your own life. See, you're there to enrich and benefit. And I mean, what are synonyms for enrich? make alive, make better, improve upon. I would say add color to, add value to. I don't want to use that word anymore. It's been oversaturated, but still, you are there to add vibrancy to their life, whatever they're needing. Maybe help them go over the edge, go over the not, help them get over the hump, whatever it is. You discover through their conversation what the challenges are that they're currently experiencing, and then you find a way to improve that for them. All right, so that's what I think is what is good and beneficial to do. And yeah, so I'm going to continue to see what else we can do here in this regard. So now we're going to go to chapter 2, see what kind of bookmarks we have for ourselves here.
Chapter 4.
Oh, chapter 4. It says chapter 2, my audible.
Build it before you need it.
Oh, just stop right there. Build it before you need it. That's the name of the title, I guess. Chapter 4. This is exactly right. Build it before you need it. You don't go up to someone and say, "Hey, I need something right now." No, the purpose of building a network is so that you can approach them in time of peace, in time of calm, in time of there's nothing that I need right now from you. Like you are building that foundation. Once the foundation is built, then you can ask for something. I mean, when a baby's born, no one goes up to the baby and say, "I need you to help me." No, of course not. It's a baby. The relationship is very new still, right? I mean, you could use a dating example as well. A man doesn't just show up to a woman and say, "Hey, let's go consummate our relationship in a bedroom right now." No, they have to meet each other, talk to each other first, get to know each other. It's a whole process before you even get to that point. And in the same way, a person when they are just born, you need many years of experience before the parents, can ask them to do something that's, I don't know, just a big thing. I'm just saying that you need to have that relationship built prior to asking for anything. And once that relationship is built, then yeah, you can go ahead and ask. Um, and I believe that and this book also teaches it. It's those um, acquaintances that not really close, but not too far, like just a Goldilocks zone of knowing somebody that helps you get ahead in life. Okay, it's not too close where you have all your people that are just there to, they're doing the same thing you're doing, or they feel the same way you feel, whatever, and they're not too distant and afar that you really can't ask them. You got to keep them in the Goldilocks zone of relationships where it's just right. They're far away enough, but yet close enough for you to ask them for something. Anyway, so let's keep going and see what else we can find here. Chapter 4, I guess, but here we go.
People who have the largest circle of contacts, mentors, and friends know that you must reach out to others long before you need anything at all.
So that also confirms the whole situation about, again, building it before you learn it. Now, here is just saying, look, people that have already large networks know that you need that um, large pool before you do anything at all. So that's how it's going to be. And if they are already doing it, then I want to make sure that I do the same thing, that I also um, build up my network, right? Again, going to events, meeting new people, getting their phone numbers, and staying abreast, staying top of mind with them. I mean, even right now, for myself, I have a list of followers, I have a list of contacts that I've made in the last year. And I know most of them have forgotten me unless I email them and keep myself top of mind. But it doesn't hurt to make that phone call to just follow up with them. Okay, so that's and I'm going to continue to build that network, and not just over the phone, right? But we're talking about a network where you are able to yeah, talk to them in person. Even I would love that, and meet them at parties or meet them at other events. And going forward, like even currently, we have an invitation from Neighborhood Loans to do an event where yeah, it's going to be a Christmas event. It's going to be fun, but it's on Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. That's unfortunately the time that I have to go to sleep. But if you decide to go there, it'll be a great opportunity to meet new people. All right. And so, yeah, that helps out as well. Okay, keep it going. So he's talking about how people that have large networks understand the importance of building a network before you need it. So right now, again, in times of peace, In times of calm, that's where you are building up, building, so that when the time comes, you will be able to reach into your barracks, you could say, or into your tool belt, and pull out what you need to pull out. Same with situation. You spoke about this before. Right now, it's kind of quiet. It is quiet, actually. There are people that you can, well, look, you're not as busy as you want to be in the real estate world. So right now is the opportunity for you to build up in systems, right? So when things are calm and peaceful, build up for the time of the inclement weather or whatever the case is. Okay. All right. Next.
That you must reach out to others long before you need anything at all.
All right. There we go.
That you must reach out to others long before you need anything at all.
All right. So that was recorded like three or four times, and that just goes to show you that I really felt that was a very important highlight to take in, and I'm pretty sure I highlighted this during multiple listenings, but still, I do see that as an important point. Okay, so now we're going to go a little bit further and go with the next one.
Important thing is to get to know these people as friends, not potential customers, I said.
Very good. I like that. Yeah, again, it's about uh, building the network, right? The people that have large networks tell you this is what you need to do. So how do you do this, right? How do you approach and start building a network? Do you approach them as clients, as someone, you know, that's when, for example, Kasia, right? She is a lender or a lender partner, whoever she is. But when we spoke, it was more like just 90%, 95% of the conversation was just about programs and lending and whatnot. Very little to do with friends. Here in this book, they're talking about building a network of friends. So I don't know. What if the most prominent people in the lending space in the real estate world are building networks, but it's all about real estate? Is it really about building a genuine friendship? Because if you can take that approach of I'm your friend, I'm someone that is interested in making friends with you, whatever. Like I'm a knowledgeable realtor. I know the rules, I know the laws, I know how to fill out a contract, I know how to get your house sold, I know how to negotiate terms so that you come out, everybody comes out, the winner, let's say. Then that's great. But hey, I'm your friend, I'm your buddy. Approach it in that way. That's what Keith Ferrazzi is saying here in chapter 4 of this book, Never Eat Alone, to approach this whole networking, approach them as a friend would. I think that's valuable. That's why I highlighted that portion of the book. That's another one. Did I push it or not? I'm not sure. Let's do it again.
You right off the bat to do their PR, which is why you should offer your services for free, at least at first. For instance, maybe you
All right, so what do you do there? So he's talking about volunteering your time. So yeah, you're not really going up there to ask for the order, or you're not going up there to ask for the um, for a sale, right? You're there to give free value. I mean, when I go to a listing appointment or a buyer consultation, or even do some showings, I make sure that they are already pre-approved and we're looking at houses. We're providing value in that regard, but we're not getting cash from them up front. No, we're not. So if you are also networking, I mean, you're approaching as a friend. A friend's not going to be asking for cash up front. You're not an Evaristo type of person who turns people off by his obtrusiveness and his um, audacity, but a repulsive audacity, I would say, and offensive. So we're not going to do that. All right, let's see what else.
people for free? Absolutely, I said.
Okay.
Today you are unproven, and breaking in is tough. Eventually you will have a growing circle of people who have seen your work and who believe in you.
Okay.
That's the kind of connections you're looking to create.
Okay, so you're looking to create these kind of connections. Yes, I mean breaking in is tough. I mean even Ricky Caruth